All right, as you know, we do our best to make these podcasts great. We're trying to help out the agent out there and best shortcut the learning curve that Kate and I both went through. So today we're going to be talking about some cool things you can do and some unique things to do when working with buyers to get their offer accepted in today's market. As we approach the spring market, I know, Kate, you were just telling me that you're getting beat up right now in the market.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's a good time to just go back to the basics and see if there's anything creative we can do to be more like me and get your offer accepted.
See, the thing is, I feel like a lot of times you're going to have that learning curve, though, of like your clients not doing what you're telling them to do.
Right.
Right. So I struggle because like, I know that that's a phase, but how do you then get them out of that phase? And I mean, I think I know what to do because I've been doing this and I know how to get offers accepted. But you are going to have that lag period where your buyers just maybe like don't believe in you entirely or still are listening to their parents where, you know, you don't have to be that competitive. And then just like go through the process of maybe losing one or two and then you finally learn and they listen to you.
Right.
But I do think that we could do a better job, or I could do a better job at setting their expectations off the bat. So maybe we eliminate those 2 lost offers.
Is that what you think it is? You think it's
Yeah.
So all right. So let me ask, so you think it's them not listening to you? I mean, do you think if
maybe am I not listening to them and their needs?
Maybe. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, do you think if you told them, if you could write the offer the way you wanted, do you think you get it accepted?
Yeah.
Okay.
With limitations to like, there's some clients that you just still need 3% seller's assist and they're constantly sending me brand new like listings that they want to go look at with multiple offers. I mean, there's certain things that our hands are tied. Okay.
And for those of you that don't know, Kate is working with 90% of my buyers. So yes. Is that what you're saying? Multiple offers in most cases?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it's crazy because then, I mean, and I know we have a hard time because we have listings that are maybe sitting on the market for a little bit longer. But anyways, we can touch on that later. But it's like, you know, Sabri and I were talking the other week. It's like, okay, a house has been on the market for 90 days. You go and put in an offer. And guess what? Now, all of a sudden, there's multiple offers.
Right.
And I'm just going stir crazy. I mean, Southern Chester County, like, I think I can just leave that there. Most agents know.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing. Yeah.
Right.
So then it's pushing your clients to kind of explore other areas of either Lancaster County, Quarryville areas, or even going, you know, underneath the belt into Maryland, Cecil County.
Okay. Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's all setting your clients' expectations, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's one of the first things we talk about is, can you do a buyer orientation with your client, right? So that you can, you know, all the things we're going to talk about today, can you tell them all of that? Now, if you don't have it, we have a cheat sheet that we send to our clients when we meet them and say, this is what we use to help get offers accepted. So when you have that buyer orientation, you're setting their expectations. And now when you tell them, look, on average, you're going to lose the first 5 deals. Now, when you lose deal 1 and 2 and 3, they're not saying, oh, I think there's something wrong with my agent. They're saying, you know what, Kate told me.
This is the market where we've been briefed for this. Yeah.
How was Kate so smart that she knew we were going to lose the first 3, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. Like, to shortcut the curve, I think, you know, sometimes you get a client that just listens to you. And then other times you get that person that, you know, they want the story. They want to buy the home and say, oh, you know, they wanted 350 and I was able because, you know, I saw that whatever.
Yeah.
And I was able to get it for 10% less, or I was able to get them to cover my closing costs. I mean, that type of a story is great when you're not talking about a home for your family. And that's like one of the first things I talk about with my clients. What type of product are you guys looking for here?
Right. Because there's the product that you can make money on.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Are you looking to make money or are you looking for a home to raise your family in?
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of clients that aren't so happy, but they're living in a house that they got a great deal. They ripped off the seller. We took them for everything they had.
Yeah.
And now this guy's living in a house with a closet that doesn't fit his clothes.
Right.
Like, how frustrating is that? And your whole
Yeah.
family sharing one bathroom.
Right.
Me personally, I would rather think, oh, I overpaid a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll let the market catch up. By
Yeah.
the time I go to sell this family home, we'll be back.
Yeah.
And
I think even too, like, it kind of just, you still have to let your clients be who they are, right? Like, we aren't trying to like change anyone of just, yeah, we want to set expectations, but sometimes you're just going to have clients that are kind of a pain in the butt and are just going to go rogue on you. But I think even then it's kind of like, okay, just like staggering them. Maybe they aren't like your super hottest client. Yeah, they're pre-approved, they want to buy something, but can they buy something with their attitude in the market?
yeah,
Kind of filter them down a little bit. They aren't like, buying in the next 2 weeks because they aren't putting in offers that
Right.
represent that. And then you just get more buyers,
yeah.
right?
I mean, okay, there's two types of things here. Are you trying to sell a bunch of houses? Yeah, if you want to do that, yes. But if we're talking today about how can we get our clients' offers accepted,
Okay, yes, you're right.
I think the first thing is to bring them to the realization, if that's what they want. If they say,
Right.
Brian, I don't care if I live in the basement of this house and work on it every night after work for the next 4
Right.
years, I want to make
want a
some money.
deal. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm moving out. I'm a single person.
Right.
No one else cares about my house. I want to make this a rental. I
Yeah.
want to, whatever. If that's their mission, yeah.
Okay.
But if they're buying a home for their family, which is 99% of our clients,
Yeah.
then I think it's important to help them come to the conclusion, see the bigger picture. Hey, you're going to wake up here,
Right.
November 15th of next year.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that's going to make you happy is whether or not, you've got enough room for your family. Does everyone
Yeah.
have their own bathroom? Is there
Yeah.
plenty of room in the cupboard? Like, are all your needs met? That's what's going to be the long-term.
So the two things that we've talked about so far in the buyer orientation is one, setting expectations, and two, just really going through of what type of product they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a deal or do you
Right.
want a home for your family?
Right.
Okay.
And I think that answers your question. How do
Agreed.
you shortcut that?
Agreed. Yeah.
So you get across that wanting to save money.
Okay.
Now,
Then it kind of just goes into like the list price. I think saying like, okay, is this indicative of, the actual value of the home, or how do we, again, like, going back to those clients that think that they want a deal. Well, okay, well, maybe you still can get a deal, because what we've been seeing in the past 2 years is that a lot of listing agents will significantly undercut the list price to just draw up the most amount of activity. So the listing agent might be going to their seller saying, hey, I think your house is worth $350. So they're actually going to list it at $315.
the list price is more of a marketing tool
Right.
than it is, getting a house less than list price or more than list price will determine if you overpaid or underpaid.
Exactly. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
So,
Just kind of
I
having
think
that conversation.
Yeah, have that in the buyer orientation. Let your client know that, the list price is a marketing tool. If
Right.
you're going to get more eyes on a house if you price it at, if the house is worth 305, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to get more eyes if you price it at 300, because you're going to get that buyer looking from 2 to 3 and the
Yeah.
buyer looking from 3 to 4.
Yep.
And, just because you paid 300 or you paid 305 doesn't mean you overpaid.
Exactly.
If you go in and give them $5,000 over asking price in the first day, you
Yeah.
paid exactly what it's worth and you blew out all the competition.
Right.
So I think, it's important, exactly, have that conversation with them, make sure that they understand the list price is a marketing tool.
And we have the appraisal. I mean, most of our buyers are also getting mortgages.
Right.
So-
If you're using an appraisal, the appraisal is going to protect you from overpaying.
Yeah.
In most cases. And, I think it's important to let your buyer know, like, you need to act fast. If it's Monday morning and a house gets listed, you can't say, I want to see that house Friday on my lunch break because it's not available. And what if it is still available?
Yeah.
I mean,
Now you're going to be, okay, it's available, but there's, 7 offers that have already been accepted or something like that. There's a deadline. And now we're coming in just trailing.
right.
And I feel like also being the first one in there, you're the first one to see it, hopefully the first offer in. Your agent's then creating rapport with the listing agent before they're irritated of all these other agents calling them and blowing them up. I mean,
And think about,
You're not first, you're last.
pretend you're the seller's situation, right?
Right.
If you know, that's how you're going to win your negotiating, is being in the seller's point of view and winning that. So
Yeah.
if I'm the seller and I'm sitting there saying, okay, my house has been listed for a day, I got an offer in my hand over my asking price.
Right.
Am I going to say no to that for a risk? Right. So
Yeah, there's a
when
good
you're the
chance.
first one in there,
Yeah.
if you don't have the ability to be a baller and drop a huge purchase price down, being the first one in is something you need to use your time to compensate for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And your agent, if you're the agent, you need to go. Like, if I'm
1000%.
eating my food, I'm putting it on a plate and getting in the car. Like,
Just go
I'm
show
calling
them
the
out.
agent. Right.
Yeah.
There's no showings today. Why not?
Yeah.
I want to come in, and,
Absolutely.
obviously respect everyone's wishes, but, I think the other thing, while we're on setting your client's expectations, let them know that you're going to recommend a lot of terms and things in the contract, but it doesn't mean they have to do it.
Yeah.
And, just let them know, look, you don't know what the other offers are going to be.
Right.
However, I think it's our responsibility to show them, in our experience, Kate, you're putting in 4 offers a week for the last 3 years. I feel like you have an obligation to tell them, hey,
1000%.
out of the 200 offers I've written, the 40 offers that didn't have home inspections got accepted.
Right.
However, here are your risks at doing that.
Exactly. And I tell them, like, point blank, like, hey, if I don't tell you these things right now, and then we don't get an offer accepted, and then I tell you 3 houses down, you're going to be like, Kate, like, what the heck? Why didn't you tell me that I could do this in the first place? Like,
Right.
I need to lay it all out for you, and then you can make the decision of whether or not, this home is worth doing that on.
Right.
So.
And I think you need to, of course, we always need to keep our client's best interest in mind.
Of course, yeah.
But there's a fine line between, I remember the beginning of COVID, an agent coming out to me, how could you let your client spend $20,000 over asking on a house? How could you let your client do that? Well, ma'am, you've been working with your client for 2 years now, trying to get them a deal.
Yeah.
Your client doesn't have a home, and my guy's gained $100,000 in equity in the last year.
Yeah.
So while she thought I was
actually a
costing my
disservice.
client
Yeah.
an extra 20 grand, really, I made him an extra 80 grand.
Yeah.
And the reality is we can't predict the future.
Right.
So we don't know. And I let my people know that, hey, what are your plans for this?
Exactly.
Do you need to sell this house in
the
6
next-
months?
Yeah. Or in the next 2 years. I mean, we just don't know. Yeah.
Right. Or is this like, hey, I'm keeping this
Long-term.
thing forever.
You're happy with the payment. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah.
So, of course, so like I had here in my notes, let them
Yeah.
know you need to be fast. Waiting is going to cost you money regardless. If they don't have any offers, you're going to let them know you're going to recommend some terms. They don't have to use them.
Yeah.
But I think you need to show them what your experience
What
has
we've
taught
seen.
you.
Yeah.
And I think the last thing is to let them know it's not a competition between the buyer and the seller. It's more of
It's kind of just
buyer
the buyer and the buyer.
and another buyer.
Yeah.
Right. So it's, how can you impress the seller, not what can we do to get over on the seller?
Agreed.
Agreed.
I mean, I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, one other thing I wanted to touch on there,
Okay.
in this stage, when they want to see a home, you call the listing agent right away.
Of course.
Let them know, hey, we're showing 123 Main Street tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're showing 123 Main Street this afternoon. Is there anything I need to know? Do you have any offers on it?
Yeah. And I think like also too, like if you know that you're like one of the first or the first, showing in there, like just kind of seeing like what the listing agent has, what expectations the listing agent has set with their sellers, right? Because if they've said, hey, I already prepared them for multiple offers, we'll probably get to a deadline, that can kind of shift where you need to talk to your clients about. And then kind of also go into the conversation like, okay, with those expectations being set for your sellers, is there an offer or a number that they have in mind that would just wrap it up right now, right?
Yeah.
Seeing like, do they need, just kind of like simple stuff, right? Do they already have a place to go afterwards? Do they need, a contingency in order for them to find their new home? What's going on there?
Yeah.
Just find some information
Figuring it all
out.
out. Yeah. Okay. So I had this kind of broken down into like 3 different parts, prepared for your questions. That was the part about in the beginning, setting your client's expectation.
Yeah.
Now I think what people want to hear next, we're going into it, pre-writing an offer.
Yeah.
Hit me. You want me to hit you or you want to go?
I mean, like, we already talked about what immediate steps do you take when buyer shows interest in a property. Done. Checked. We talked about it. How do you gather information from the listing agent to make your offer stand out? Just talked about it.
Done.
Okay. What are some techniques for winning over the seller's agent? You have to be cool. I feel like.
I mean, you're the expert here.
Oh, okay.
I'm
You
not.
just asked me to ask you the question.
Okay. All right.
No,
I'm just letting them know.
I think it's a fine line though, because there's some agents that like you have to be real cool with. Like you don't want to bother them too much, especially like some of the agents that are really big teams. Like it's a little trickier. I feel like you need to tread lightly with them because if you irritate them, they're just going to kind of shut you off. But I think just like matching their energy and just, especially like if your clients are pre-approved with a local lender, that they also, that the listing agent knows, connecting with them on that base is always good.
Okay. You call the listing agent.
Yeah.
You see the listing agent.
Yeah.
Oh, they're on a team. Co-listing and listing agent. Who do you call?
Co-listing. It depends on the team.
Okay. So if you have a relationship, you'll call a listing agent. If not, you call the co-listing agent.
I do. Mm-hmm.
And you feel like you have an easier shot at winning them over?
Kind of.
Okay.
And well, sometimes I feel like if I call, like I've called the team lead before and they're like, why are you calling me? You do it when people call you.
I mean, I'm out of touch.
Right.
Kelly's the one that's in charge of it, or you or Kelly.
So like be aware of what the listing is telling you in the MLS so you don't call someone and then they're like, all the information's in the MLS. Like you look like an idiot.
Right. And it kind of sets the expectation
That you're
for
not
me as a
thorough.
listing agent.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't mean to do that with my hand. Why are you bothering me? Because it's there. Like, and I'm trying to do other stuff. And, I don't want to sound like that, but when you're trying to get your systems in order,
Yes.
you spend a lot of time to train a listing manager and to put another agent in place and to brief them on the property, make sure everything's uploaded.
Yeah.
And then there's this agent who it's just like they want to shortcut the line, right? And they want to shortcut all of your systems. They have no respect for anything. Like that's kind of how I interpret it.
Yeah,
And
that's fair. So again, like I think that like if there is a co-listing agent, like you should be calling the co-listing agent or like in the, agent remarks, like read thoroughly and then contact who it tells you. Again, of course, unless I have a relationship with them, right? Like Jason Duncan has a listing and there's a co-listing agent that I've never met before. Like I'm calling Jason. But like, I don't think he would care about that.
he wouldn't care. And I wouldn't care if it was
one.
one of my friends,
Exactly.
but like, if I have a listing and you call me, I don't know. Like I genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like, and now I feel
you're right.
rude being like, hey, like call Kelly,
Yeah. So
because
from a buyer's agent perspective, be
I would
very aware of that.
I would be aware of the remarks.
Yeah.
And then I would try to win over the listing agent, or maybe let's just take a step and say whoever's in that role, because I have news for you. If there's 20 offers and one of them has been very responsive to you or Kelly or something like that, you're going to say, oh, is Kate's offer on there?
Right.
I wanted to let you know, like, they're working. You'll tell me what the deal is, even if that, I think that gives you a slight edge over the other 20 offers.
1000%.
But I think we got off track. You're saying all right. So you call the co-listing agent.
Yeah,
What's your first question? What do you say?
I call the listing agent. Hey, I'm showing the property tomorrow to some great buyers. Are there any offers yet?
Not right now, Kate.
Okay.
But
it literally was just listed 5 minutes ago.
It was just listed 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
And, I think truthfully, our sellers, we're expecting a lot of offers.
Okay.
So, take your time.
Yeah.
Don't worry about rushing out here.
Okay.
And, don't worry about getting me anything right away.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, we're not worried about it all. It definitely looks like a great listing. You guys did a beautiful job with it. The marketing looks great. My buyers are super excited about it. That's just the reason why we're headed out there right away. With our showing probably going to go really well, is there a number that you've kind of have like braced your clients to expect with, the offers coming in?
okay, I like what you're doing. So you're complimenting me. You're just, oh my gosh, you did a great job. We're so
Marketing's
excited.
phenomenal.
You're not pushing back on me saying I have a deadline.
Right.
You're just like agreeing with it.
Yeah.
And then
We're agreeable gray over here.
you're agreeable gray.
Go ahead. And what?
You liked how I called that paint color yesterday?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that, whatever. We're moving on.
Answer my question.
What was the question?
Did you and your sellers have a conversation yet about
So,
the price that, like a price that they would wrap it up at?
right. So I don't think, okay, so we're screwing up because the answer I would say is I would just tell you to send your best offer. But
Okay, no, that's okay, but that's what everyone says.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Sometimes you can get them to crack. I
okay,
mean,
Brian.
sometimes you can get 'em to
Sometimes you
crack.
can.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
It hasn't happened to me in a while.
All right. All right. So
How do you get them to crack, Brian?
throw a number out there.
Okay. Okay, right.
Like they're going to say, no, we would want to do highest and best. Right. Now, if you reframe it so that their client's best interest is to take your offer.
Right.
Okay. Well, look, Kate. All right. You're the seller's agent now.
Okay.
Look, Kate, I understand you want to get the most amount of money for your client. You're great.
course.
You're a great agent, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get, I know you want to get them the most amount of money. I'm just trying to avoid a situation where we would pay a ton of money possibly to avoid that.
Yeah.
Because we love this home.
Yeah.
However, my buyers need to do something right away. There's a couple other houses they like.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to lose both.
Right.
So, if we gave you guys a crazy number, would you turn it down right now? Or do you think they might have a buy it number, buy it now number?
Yeah. And I think what you just said right there is really important because again, it's like, we don't want to come off pushy, but just saying like, hey, listen, like my guys are just in a situation where they have to buy something. So if it isn't this home, we're going to have to find another one. They love this one the most.
Yeah.
So, but really quick, I am going back because I feel like we're talking now, second phone call after the showing, because it's not a good look to be the agent that says that they're bringing an offer and their clients absolutely are head over heels with it. And then you go to a showing and it's like, never mind.
There's no better way to jinx it than to do that.
And it's like, then why are you like blowing me up right now? Like, go see it, Yeah. So I do think we kind of jumped into like a second phone call conversation.
Okay.
I think first phone call, we're just seeing, are you guys expecting multiple offers? Is that the seller's expectations? What does their timeline look like? Maybe how many showings do you guys have scheduled? And then just tour the house. Let's keep it simple.
And just like you're trying to get them to laugh. You're trying to be like the funny person.
Yeah.
You love them. Oh my gosh, you work in Kate's office.
Right.
Like she's great.
We're hooting and hollering.
Right.
Yeah.
Move along.
Yes.
You show the house.
Yeah.
While you're there, you're setting your buyer's expectations. Moving on.
Yeah.
You're ready to write an offer.
Yep.
Did we skip anything yet? You do the second call, which we just kind of
Like
semi-role
jumped
played.
into, yeah. Second
Are there
call.
any other things? I mean, should we run down real quick? You want to know what's the seller's timeline look like? Does the seller possibly need to do a rent back?
Yes.
Does the seller
Still need to find their new house.
what's going on?
Yeah. Yep. Are they moving out of town? Do their kids want to finish the school year out before doing anything?
Figure out and really what you're summarizing is you're putting yourself in the seller's position trying to figure out how can my offer be most attractive to them, right? Like, oh, we have these 10 offers, but Kate's going to let our kids finish out the school year.
Right. And also I think even like you can go into, I mean, it probably depends a lot on like the condition of the home, but like there's some sellers out there that are overwhelmed. They don't want to get into an offer where, now they're spending X amount of money to do all of these repairs before even getting into settlement. So like if that's a concern of them, be aware of that. I mean, what seller wants to spend money when they don't have to? But
Love it.
I think it's a good conversation to have. Yeah.
I love it.
We love it.
I do. Now you know their seller stuff.
Yeah.
You're running the show. Hit me.
So now we're just, okay, I'm going to have an offer. I'm going to talk to my clients. I'll have an offer to you shortly. I will say when you say that, again, like don't put the brakes on. I feel like I've had conversations with like some of buyer's agents from your listings, and they'll say that they'll have an offer over, and then it's like 2 days later and like they're still working on the offer. Like let's get it going, you know? Like,
Right. And
like the foot should not be off the gas pedal yet.
Right. And now, just to pause, is
Yeah.
not the time for you to have a buyer orientation with your client.
1000%.
Now is not the time to get pre-approved,
No.
to figure out how much it's going to cost you. All of that should have been done already.
Yeah.
You're leaving that house.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth, Kate. I'm writing an offer in the driveway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm writing an offer. If I'm not writing an offer in the driveway, I'm going to my next appointment. If I'm
Right.
10 minutes early, like that offer is in my client's inbox within 30 minutes of leaving,
Of leaving
that.
the
By the
house.
time they get home, they're
Yeah.
signing it
Yeah.
and it's over to the agent.
Yeah. No, 1000%.
And that's all just free, your head bite, and it's free.
Yeah. And two, it's not like, let's not like draw this out any, like you don't need to go back to the office and spend an hour on it. Like it's not needed.
Yeah. You don't, it doesn't need to be handwritten.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be hand delivered. It doesn't need to be put in dot loop.
Okay. Don't start with a dot loop. We're not doing that.
I feel like you're getting excited to ask me a question.
No.
You're
Getting
just
excited to write some offers.
All right. All right. So,
Okay, so now clients want to write the offer. Listing agent is expecting the offer. We're going over terms. First price. What do you think about a price escalation? If you're the first offer and you're doing a price escalation, you're crazy.
why? You're right, but
You're crazy because then that's pretty much just saying like, hey, you know, we're willing to pay up to X amount, but only if someone is pushing like pushing us
you're
that far.
inviting me to go find another offer.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Right. So so there's a couple ways to play your cards, right? Like they're asking 3, you tell your guys, look, the house is worth 320.
Right.
Let's do it, right?
Yeah.
So
here's a question. Now, I haven't done this in a while because I try to refrain from using escalation clauses. But let's say house is listed for 3 and you went to the, listing agent, co-listing agent, whatever, said I have an offer for 330. Again, we're talking, listen, we understand that you guys want to, do what's best for your sellers. I need to do what's best for my buyers. They have to buy a house. If it isn't this one, we have to go to another one. And then if they still push you back, do you say, okay, well, just as a heads up, I do think that my clients are going to want to do an escalation if we get to like a highest and best deadline, just to maybe tell them like, hey, listen, there's a chance that our offer won't even be pushed to 330 do you get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Do you say that to a listing agent or is that like
Well,
a
I
threat?
would just I would just say, let me know if you're
Okay.
gonna, like, if they say no.
Right.
I would say, I'm giving you a deadline of tonight.
Okay.
Don't give them a deadline of tonight at 7:00. But
Well,
if you
no,
give me an offer at 3,
Yeah.
give them the deadline of today. I need to know by today, or else we're going to have to move on.
Right.
Right. So now you're putting them in a position where they've got nothing,
Yeah.
and they're about to lose an offer that's like 330, 30 grand more than they want.
Yep.
Right. Like they're considering that.
Yeah.
And
Because I'm sorry, if you're going to put pressure on like that, like you better not be writing an offer that's only like 5 or 10 grand over.
right.
Like don't
Yeah.
do that. You
Yeah.
look silly.
And I mean, the other,
Yeah.
the agent's first question is going to be, is it going to appraise? Right. Because he priced it at 300.
Right.
So I thought it was worth 300. Now you're telling me you're going to find an appraisal that's worth 30 grand more. So
Now
you
we
need
go
to-
into the conversation of talking with our clients. What is an appraisal waiver? Is it inappropriate?
So 100%. But I think before that,
Okay.
you're on the phone with the listing agent right now. Without a doubt, you need to be 100% confident it will appraise if your people can't do
Right.
an appraisal. Like, oh my God, it'll appraise. Da, da, da. I found another one in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'll meet them out there.
Love
We've
it.
been having great luck with appraisals. Pike Creek always gets them done.
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z, and be confident. Find some good
Yeah,
comps.
absolutely.
And, you told your client it's worth 330. So be able to justify it, be able to tell the agent that so you can remove that.
Right.
Now, going back to having that appraisal waiving conversation with your client, it's a tough one to have.
It is a tough one to have.
Um,
And I feel like it really, so again, there's only a certain amount of clients that
You wanna
I'm
know
even
the
going to
script?
be able to have the conversation with. What did you say?
I said, okay, you want to know the script or what?
Yeah, please. No, but I think it's something to keep in mind. Like our clients that are already asking for some seller's assist,
Yeah.
like need that seller's assist. I don't know. Like I don't really feel like it's worth having the conversation with them because
They
it's
can't
not
waive
doable.
it.
You know
Right.
what I
And that
mean?
doesn't benefit anyone. Right.
Exactly. So there's only like a certain amount of clients that we're going to work with that are able to have the conversation. And I think, again, it just goes back to like, hey, this is what we're seeing people do to get offers accepted. Again, depending on what type of home this is for you, you know, okay, are you renting right now where you're paying $2,500 a month in a rental until you find your home? If that's the case, okay, that's, you know, what would that be? 5 months of renting that you're paying over asking. But guess what? You get your forever home out of it.
Well, it's not over asking, it's over the appraised
Over
value.
the appraised value. Sorry.
Yeah, right. 100%. And I think it's the concept, right? A couple things. First of all, I would let them know this is an amount. Let's say we're willing to go $10,000 over the appraisal, right? So if you're offering $330,000, first of all, this is an opportunity where we may be able to get this house for $310,000.
Right.
Because if it only appraises for what they have it listed for, then we're only going $310,000. So now we got the house and we got $20,000 off the asking price, right? And the seller's getting $10,000 more by choosing our offer.
Yes.
So it could be a way for you to save $20,000,
right,
and get your you're
Your
not
offer
paying
accepted.
any more for the house than you've agreed on.
Right.
You're not
Exactly.
paying any more for the house than you've agreed on. Make sure that's clear. However, every appraisal's different, right? We could have 3 appraisers out there. All 3 of them will come up with a different number, right? And including the whatever market analysis was done by a listing agent.
Right.
So all 3 of them are different numbers. Explain to your client, look, the lender will only lend you what your loan to value that you've been approved for is. If you're putting 20% down, that means the lender's only lending you 80% of the purchase price or the appraised value.
Right.
Whichever's lower. Now, again, that brings me to another topic. Some people don't realize that you could throw in that appraisal waiver and it not even affect you.
Right.
Some people are selling and they're bringing $200,000 from one and putting it down. Well, okay, now you're putting down 38%, let's just say.
Yep.
Right? Well, your lender's approving you based on having 20% down.
Yep.
So that extra 18% is actually money that you could put in there as an appraisal waiver, quote unquote, and it wouldn't affect any terms of your loan. It wouldn't affect anything at all because you're already putting that extra money down.
Well, it would affect your monthly payment.
No, it wouldn't.
Why?
Because you're already putting that 38% down.
Yeah, but now if you're going to take that $18,000 or that 18% and use that to pay over,
They
then
were
you're
already
only
paying
putting
over.
20%.
Like they were already putting 38. If the house was $330,000,
Okay.
take off 38%. That's what the loan amount's going to be.
Right. Got it. I got it.
And it's going to be that amount
you're right.
regardless.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah.
So you can always put,
Right.
always, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So really at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter. And
buyer
like
doesn't
you said,
bring-
it's not changing any of their terms.
Right.
Love that.
Now, for the person that only has
Right.
X amount and they want to do an appraisal waiver, I think showing them the benefits,
Yeah.
there's this, right? Now, we also have a form we require everyone to read and sign that explains the risks of waiving an appraisal.
Yes.
You may pay more than the house is worth. By doing that, right? So, I mean, there's risks to that. Everyone that's done an appraisal waiver that I've ever worked with is sitting on a ton of equity right now. Every house I've ever sold
Yeah.
that has done an appraisal waiver is sitting, every house I think I've ever sold is sitting on a ton of equity right now. I mean,
I don't disagree.
I mean, it's just the way the cards have been dealt in the last couple of years. But of course, there's no guaranteeing that. And, an appraisal shows what the house is worth today.
Right.
You want to know where it would affect you is where the house is going to be worth when you sell it.
Yep.
So, now, there's another form of waiving an appraisal, right? If you were doing an FHA loan or a VA loan, and the drawbacks of doing those loans are the negative sides of the appraisal, which are having to make
The
repairs.
repairs. Yep. And that's a really, I mean, I think that's kind of like a no-brainer for some of our clients to do, for a lot of our clients to do that are FHA. I mean, really, in a multiple offer situation, it's very likely that you're going to have some conventional offers that you're going up against. At the worst case, I mean, you can even put a dollar amount on it if you wanted to and just say, hey, listen, we're willing to fix any lender required repairs up to $5,000 if you're that concerned about it. But I think, again, that's going and, connecting with the listing agent saying that you feel very confident that there's not going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, even like personally, just having a relationship with some of these listing agents, like them and I have had conversations like we as agents aren't ones to let a deal go over lender required repairs. Like we're going to get the deal done. You know what I mean?
You're going to put your tool belt on?
Well, not me personally, but like I'll have someone do it. But you get what I'm saying.
Right.
Like,
yeah, we'll get it done. Yeah.
But you need to put that in writing for the sellers to see.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's whatever. Yeah, I agree. And of course, there are risks to that. But moving on.
There's risks to everything. I mean, everything that we're saying, like, again, it's our job to tell our clients what the risks are, but we're also doing them a lack of service by not telling them how people are getting their offers accepted.
You might have spent an extra $800 painting this guy's step.
Yeah.
But to your point, how much extra did you spend by not doing it? And you had another 4 months of rent.
Yeah. And also, guess what? Now you have brand new painted steps. Like, it's not hurting you. Yeah. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Again, we have a form that all of our clients sign to make sure that, they know the risks involved and that it's taken off from us.
Waiving inspections?
Yeah.
Through inspection contingencies? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if your clients aren't willing to waive inspections, I feel like it's just making those, like contingency dates very short to show, again, the sellers and the listing agent that you aren't just going to like dilly-dally around. If we're going to do inspections, we're going to do them really quickly.
Or
and then like waiving a certain amount.
So you're calling the listing agent, look, today's Monday. Mm-hmm. We're doing inspections. I need till the end of the day Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Your other 20 offers are going to be there Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and by the way, we're waiving items that are under $100.
Right.
Right. Now that's not going to hurt anyone really too bad. I mean,
like, I don't care if an outlet's like,
I'll give them the $100 if we need to get the deal done.
Right. You good?
I mean, did you say it? We waive inspection, or you waive a portion.
Yeah.
Or you don't if you're not comfortable. And
but I
there's
will
a lot
say,
of
like the as is. I feel I'm finding writing offers. Like a lot of agents are kind of over the whole as is thing.
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's not real. Don't say that it is. So either don't.
I just had them take it out.
Yeah.
Because in Delaware, if that language isn't in there,
mm-hmm.
I have the right as a listing side to fix the defects.
Exactly.
If it's in there and the buyer can just withdraw.
Then they can withdraw for any reason over something silly.
Right. So just get it out of there. It's not doing me any good.
Yeah. And also, I mean, if it's really like as is, then Sabri said this the other day, like if it's really as is, then do the home inspection the day after settlement.
Right. Yeah.
It's not like, so.
All right. Well, I think people know these ones. We've got some good stuff in there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, hold on. Don't just skip the whole page.
We already talked about this.
All right.
Strong deposit.
Free.
Yeah.
All we got to do is put down more of a deposit.
It's free. You're spending the money at the settlement table anyways.
Right.
A nice clean email. I hate sending over or receiving like a cluttered email, all a bunch of different attachments. Give me an overview and let's just keep it easy.
Give me a clean email.
Again, we want the listing agent to like us.
Summarize the terms.
Yeah.
Put them all in one nice PDF.
Mm-hmm. Inclusions and exclusions of the property. Is there anything that you would let the sellers take with them if you think that it's really valuable to them?
I mean, that's going back to asking a listing agent.
Right.
Is there anything? Is there anything that, here's a good free thing.
Okay.
Look, we don't care what you guys leave at the house.
That's a really good one.
Leave your junk, leave your trash, take what you want and go. If you're a first-time home buyer, you got a ton of energy, you got you can make that sweat equity. Let them leave whatever they want.
Yeah, who cares?
For the right buyer, that might turn the deal around.
Yeah. For the right seller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. I think that's a great one. And again, it really is free. Maybe, a weekend of clearing stuff out, but who cares? Again, this is a home that you're going to, likely be in for a while or trying to make money. Then we have seller's transfer tax, another great way to, get the seller a couple more dollars that has nothing to do with the appraisal or the loan amount or anything like that.
Yep.
Which is great.
Love that.
We have the preferred settlement times. Everybody knows that. Mortgage terms. So I think we I don't know if we touched about this earlier, but like a huge thing I feel like, and it's just great even as like an agent knowing how qualified the buyers are that you're working with but having the lender pre-underwrite them. So know that they've already gone through underwriting. And then you can make like your mortgage and like commitment times super quick in our contract. I think, that just kind of gives like sound, safe peace of mind to the sellers, which is great.
Yeah, there's nothing better than calling and saying they're approved.
Yeah.
The loan's done. We've looked at their bank statement.
Yeah.
We've looked at everything.
Yeah.
The
If
only
we
thing
wanted to, we
is
could close
for
in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we need the property to be approved is all we need. Let's get our appraiser out there.
Yeah. This is my favorite one. And I think we're actually going to end on this one, which is going to be offer the seller a signing bonus. So do you want to go over what that is or do you want me to?
You can do it.
Okay.
Unless
So
you want me to do it.
no, it's fine. But so like pretty much it would be completely outside of the
So we're still offering $330. You're
Right.
offering $330 for my house.
Right. We're still offering $330. Well, wait, I thought that we would lower it though.
Well, here's what you would do. So say you wanted to offer $330.
Right.
You would say, we're going to give you $320 for the house.
325 or okay, 320.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to give you $320 for the house.
Okay.
And we're going to write you a check today if you sign for $10,000.
Yes.
Regardless of what happens, we're giving you that. Now you're still paying $330 for the house. This is only in that situation for the right buyer.
Yep.
Who has that money, who is like, I'm buying this house.
Yeah.
Regardless, today, here's 10 grand.
Here's 10 grand.
Non-refundable. Let's roll.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want it,
I think it's a
got
pretty
it.
cool thing. And like that really, again, for the right seller too, that, is moving, has moving expenses,
it's tough.
all those
Maybe
big
it's one of the
things.
most stressful things.
For sure.
It's a lot easier to have an extra 10 grand in your pocket.
Yeah. No, like insanely. So for
I
the
think-
right buyer, that is golden.
Why are we ending there? You don't like the rest of my list?
That's all of the list.
That's no way.
I promise you.
Did you say making sure your offer came from Foraker Realty?
And I missed that one. It was in bold.
All right, Kate, you submit your offer.
Yeah. It's getting accepted.
What if you
I'm
don't
just
hear
kidding.
anything?
I've been really, what do you mean if you don't hear anything? Oh, like if just no one's answered you? Oof, that's tricky because I've had like this one.
Confirm receipt. You say confirm
Yeah,
receipt.
of course. Always say confirm receipt. I always send a text message also to like typically that second phone call after the showing. I tell the listing agent, hey, I'll send you a text when I have it in your inbox. I don't know, just something that's nice. I know people are out on the road and whatnot. Confirm receipt. How long do we wait? After they've confirmed receipt, when do you follow up again?
I think it's just important to put the listing agent in the driver's seat every time you talk to them. Hey, Kate, I know you're extremely busy. Look, and then reframe it to where you both have the same goal.
Yeah.
Hey, Kate, I know you're extremely busy. Is there anything I can do to help us stand out, right?
Right.
Hey, real quick, is there anything I can do to get your sellers a little more? Is there anything they're looking for? Why are you looking for more offers? What more do you want?
Got it. Okay. So even when you're talking to them saying, hey, I sent over an offer, you're still saying like, is there anything more?
Hey, Kate, I just sent you an offer.
Yeah.
I'll leave it. If everything else is equal,
Yeah.
I promise you I'll get this done. Look, if we're close, give me a call. I'm sure
Love
you can
it.
get one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you might just mean maybe I'll throw in a little bit of my commission on the appraisal. I'm not suggesting you do that, but I'm suggesting that you kind of let the listing agent know that if it's close, you might be able to make it work. And when talking with your client, hey, you're offering 330. Would you be upset if you woke up tomorrow and you lost it because someone paid 331? Where is that line?
Yeah.
And make sure we want it to be exactly where you're going to be happy.
Right. And I mean, you can also tell like when you've sent over the offer to the listing agent, then if you are, just touching base with them by the end of the day or the following day, if they haven't gotten back to you, I mean, like your offer, they're waiting for something better or they have something better. So I do think that that's the time that maybe like I share that with my clients and I say, hey, listen, like there's a reason why they're not signing this right now. I think, not that I want us to be bidding against ourselves, but it's something to maybe think about, if that line that you're saying is a little bit higher than where we're at right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I have an offer of 350 and you put a deadline, I'm laughing in your face.
Yeah, 1000%.
If I have nothing,
yeah,
I'm taking that pretty seriously because I could cost my sellers a $30,000 over asking offer because I wanted to play my cards and try to be Mr.
Yeah.
I mean, let me just explain. If you're the listing agent in that position and you suggest your sellers hold out and that buyer's agent really does walk,
yeah, you're done
you
for.
screwed up. I mean, you did. And you're playing your cards wrong.
Yeah.
I think you should suggest that they possibly take it, depending on the circumstances. If I got 80 showings lined up and 4 agents call me want to make sight unseen offers,
well,
that's a different story. If I have an offer of even 320 and I know like it's not going to be that bad, I might be getting one at 350.
Yeah.
Again, it's not up to you. It's up to your seller. So you just, you tell everything to your sellers and
so
you lose the deal.
I was going to start on a high note. But,
all right, you get the deal. No, you get the deal.
So just the importance of like having everything executed ASAP. If there's any like initials that maybe because you did have such good rapport, in a relationship with the listing agent, they actually came back to you even on multiple offers, but like there's a few adjustments that they're making. Either make those adjustments immediately, have your buyer sign them and send it back to them. What I prefer to do is have the seller sign with those changes, and then all we have to do is just initial the changes because then we know
It's a done deal. It's as fast as you can move.
Exactly.
Right.
And then I think too, like with like a verbal acceptance, I mean, probably a lot of people have had like horror stories of like they say it's accepted and then all of a sudden you get a phone call, man, we just got like another offer in that I think actually like I have to present to my sellers, of course.
Because they go, Kate, we took your offer. Jim, Bill, blah, 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 blah. You guys are all declined. And every one of them want to say, what did it?
Well, actually, yeah.
Kate was at 330. Well, I could go up to 330. Oh, well, you're working with a conventional loan.
Yeah.
Right? So as soon as that happens, right.
Yeah.
So you want to say, look, first of all, what would you do? I don't want to interrupt you.
No, I mean, I would just say like, okay, just want to make sure that, I don't know, like we've had this happen in the past where, it isn't signed yet. We always try to just really work by our word and know that it's going to be, that this is more or less a done deal and just confirm that they work that way too. Because then it just kind of makes it like they're saying that.
Like you're making them say out loud, you have my word.
Exactly.
I'm held to it. I think I think you need to do that.
I agree. Yeah.
And
that's really it.
That's it.
Good sign and then.
Okay. So if you get an offer tomorrow, if you get an offer tonight at 375, we have a deal. It's done, right? Right. It's yours. It's easy to say when they don't have an offer at 375, right? Get them to lock it in.
Yeah.
And then, let's say you do that. They sign, they send it back to you. Don't wait until the next day. You sign it.
Oh my God, no. Yeah.
You get your clients up out of bed to sign it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. You get it done and you immediately text them, it's signed.
And also when the listing agent calls you back and says, hey, we're going with your offer, but the sellers haven't signed yet, do not tell your clients.
Right.
I've made that mistake before.
Yeah.
Horrible.
100%.
So yeah.
Now, let's say they deny your loan, your deal.
I mean, you just kind of want to try and get feedback of like, okay, you know, what was the determining factors? I mean, what did the buyers do that was, you know, different than ours to be selected as the winner? Right?
Yeah.
And I think like some agents get like finicky about it and are like, I can't say anything, which I totally understand. But I think more so like just wording it like, hey, like, do you have any feedback?
Right. It came down to
Or-
price.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. I'm not
Came down
asking
to-
you what the other offer was, just any feedback that you have.
And, you know, let's say you move and you get it under contract, you know, do everything you can as an agent to make that the most awesome deal that agent's ever done. So the next time he's like, hey, Kate, I want to work with you.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean?
1000%.
Like, Kate does my paperwork. Kate.
Yeah. I don't hear from Kate. Like
Right.
everything's just great.
Everything's good. Like Kate's client
Like, yeah.
freaks out. Kate handles it.
Exactly.
Like we're both professionals. She showed up to settlement on time without any issues.
Yeah.
I want to work with her again.
Yeah. Who doesn't want that?
And I do.
And I mean, I do.
Kate
So
works with Brian. Like she's going to be good. Maybe. I don't know.
I do call you in whenever there's an emergency.
Okay.
So I think that pretty much does it. Any other like takeaway, like anything that we didn't touch? I really think that signing bonus, I haven't used that yet, but that's sick.
That's some heat.
Yeah, it
you.
really is. And again, it's not costing you any more money if you have the cash, like
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Even if it can't be 10 grand. Like that's another thing. Like I think sometimes everyone thinks that it needs to be like such a drastic
Hey, we'll give you $500.
deterrent.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like sometimes it's just, again, if you're looking at all things equal, if there's two offers that are completely equal, but one is giving you $500 right now, I'll take the $500.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if I like the agent and they're cool and they're reputable.
And now you can't write a cry letter, right?
So, I mean, sometimes I have clients that they really want to put a cry letter and I tell them, I'm like, I'll include it, but it's not very likely that the listing agent's going to present it.
Right. I mean, you can't, but however, you know, there could be some ethic violations and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with writing a letter that says my clients loved the way that you cared for your home.
Yeah.
They loved the decorations you picked.
Love the backyard.
Love the backyard.
Don't say anything what you're going to do in the backyard.
Right.
But
I mean, you know, there's things you could say.
yeah.
We look forward to having, you know, creating fun memories like we saw that you did here. Boom.
Love it. Love it.
All right. I think that's a wrap.
I mean, I think that really, if anybody else has any other ideas that you've seen, like we're definitely open to them. I mean,
send this to your friends.
Yeah.
If, you know, I guarantee you that there's something we talked about here that could help you get an offer accepted. Anyone in real estate, follow our page, like us. You know, we're also going to put this on YouTube and Apple and Spotify. So
Whoa. Yeah.
if you guys want our checklist, reach out to us. You know, we'll send it to you.
Happy to share it. Yeah. Love it. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.